I want to give Notre Dame a ton of credit, though, because
Mm-hmm.
they did not give up on this game. At halftime, it looked very bleak. You felt like Notre Dame needed to get a stop before the half because you knew Ohio State was getting the ball back. They did not do that. So it's starting to look like a blowout. It's starting to look like we had all these people online are comparing it to Notre Dame's loss to Alabama last time they were in the national championship game. And I think that there was a moment where it was teetering on that, like if this was a game to turn off or not. And Notre Dame just kept fighting, kept clawing back in this game. So they're down 31-7. They scored 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. It's a 1-score game late in the fourth quarter. Like it was kind of jarring to watch because again, Jaden Greathouse was involved, which like
Mm-hmm.
prompted the question of, hey, this dude was awesome against Penn State too. Where had he been all season? There were different
Right.
games where it was kind of like receiver by committee. Sometimes Bo Collins got the job done. You had Jordan Faison sometimes it was the tight ends. But Riley made some really nice throws. And we talked a lot about Riley Leonard as a passer. He was missing guys. They were kind of really off. He was up and down. He was running it. You know, you still had these great running backs. But they got back in this game, and the 2-point conversions, you know, they were on point. They were great plays. Notre Dame did not give up. And I think so again, they acquitted themselves extremely well. We learned a lot about like the heart of that team by them not giving up. And so you can't, again, there was nothing about the blowout. There was nothing like disqualifying or fraudulent about them being in this game.
Right.
And I would have said that regardless because of who they beat to get there.
Yeah, I mean the
But
path. It's hard to say it's fraudulent.
it really is. I mean,
Yeah.
you go through Georgia, you go through Penn State, like how, you
Right.
know, and Indiana, who they only lost to the 2 teams playing in the national championship game, right?
Imagine.
So what did you make of Notre Dame's comeback and how they were doing it? Was it like, why didn't they do this sooner? Were they exposing something that popped up during the game that they noticed that they could do? What did you think was happening?
I mean, it's necessity, right? Desperation. I mean, we talked about it in the preview. This is a team that was not going to quit. They had not shown that they were a quitting type team. So I always felt like this rally was possible. One of the other things that we did talk about was like, if you want to sleep on them, that's perfectly fine. But guys like Jaden Greathouse and guys like Bo Collins can make plays. These are playmaking types of dudes. And Riley Leonard's a dude who's going to figure out a way to try to get the ball to wherever it needs to be, whether that's in his hands surging forward or whether that's throwing the football. So like this idea that Notre Dame, a team who is capable of making a national title game, would also be capable of making a run during this game does not shock me. I feel like they had to get off script a little bit. And by the time they did, Ohio State was maybe saying, we'll try to keep things in front and we'll play a little bit of a softer zone coverage rather than getting on body and matching up. And ultimately, when you do that, you have to be a great tackling team. And they had missed some tackles and some opportunities as well. And that's where you see the ball start moving down the football field. But ultimately, I do give that credit to Notre Dame for being able to turn the page, understanding what offense to get into, being patient, even though they knew they had to get the points up on the board. And then the 2-point conversions too were huge. And those are situations where people typically don't execute well and they don't have a lot of good play calls dialed up. And for both of them, Notre Dame had really good plays dialed up. So again, we're talking about the preparation of a team who had been, through it all throughout the season, had taken the long road to get here, and is obviously a very good football team. Like they're allowed to make their plays as well. Certainly kind of came out of nowhere in that situation, but when your back is against the wall, that's what good teams do.